And we are back again. Welcome back, my friends, on this crazy journey we call life. Well, life as in living, not in live show. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. If you are here, hit the like, hit the heart, leave some hearts. So I know you're there. Let me know who is there, where you're tuning in from. I'm always curious who's there with me. And if you can hear me, of course, well, I tuned in a little bit earlier. Oh gosh, this is gonna, be such a live show where you stumble over your own words. It's just like that. And I understand why I'm stumbling over my own words, because today we have a very scary and excited topic. Well, it's the heart. So that always has some excitement, some vulnerable parts, and so that's always scary. Well, before we dive into a fascia exercise, I wanted to share a little bit with you about the psyche and the energy connected to our heart, because I feel this work, as I always say, is a full spectrum approach, right? It's not only physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's energetic, it's spiritual. It's really full spectrum, and we must never lose that out of our sight, because as our body is wholeness, I want to take everything with us to get the best out of life. So let us tune into the heart. For me, as I feel it, as I learn it, but also feel it, and I always share things in a way like try it on for size. Don't believe it, but just be open to it and check if it resonates with you and if it feels it's aligned to your truth. Welcome, my first heart is there. Misha, thank you very much. Always wonderful to see people coming in. So even if you watch the replay, leave your heart. It's very nice to receive that too. So to dive into today's topic, the heart, I want to distinguish two parts of the heart, and that's the lower heart, that is connected to our emotional body, to the drama in life. And we all hit that sometimes, right? When we get hurt, we might drop into the drama, or you fall in love, and then suddenly all those ballads resonate with you, because all those songs, like those heartbreak or those I fall in love songs, also have a certain frequency that then is aligned to the lower part of your heart. And the journey for me is to raise vibration, raise and open to your higher heart, and that is more connected to a more mature love, a more intelligent love, and the frequency of that, the energy of that upper heart is so different than the lower heart. And as you will tune into it, you will start to notice the difference and also start to choose different, because then the lower just pulls you into a matrix of drama you don't want to be in. So you're like raising vibration. That's more the energetical perspective of the heart. Then let's tune in for a moment to the psyche of the heart, because what happens, we walk through this life with open heart. Things happen that starts to hurt our heart, and at a certain point your psyche might decide, like, hey, this is too painful, I'm gonna protect myself from that pain. And you're gonna shield yourself in a real physical way. We want to try to shield ourselves. So what's often happening is that then the shoulders come in front, and we're gonna like protect our heart. And you might think, what does Ernie or Bear doing here? I never know which one it is. But I also felt like giving it a little bit of a light-hearted approach. And my soul friend Mida, who is also doing some videos on the energetic perspective of life and psyche, which she is really doing amazing job and sharing this with a lot of tools, and I love it because when you see it, you can relate to it and you're like, oh, of course. So I was walking through my apartment, cleaning my son's bedroom, which can be a mess, and I bumped into Bert or Ernie. And I thought like, oh, this is such a great example of what is happening when we walk through life with a lot of fear, because everything gets pulled up, our base gets tense, and oh, it's Ernie. Thanks Misha. So Ernie, so what happened when we are scared and want to protect ourselves, it's like this, everything gets pulled up. Well, maybe not your hands and feet, but in a way in the body, like the shoulders get up, right? It's like, everything gets up. So I had to think about that, and I needed to share it with you. Yeah. So that is what is happening. So you're scared, so the base gets pulled, you don't feel, you don't feel the ground, you rise up to your head, your shoulders go in front, all to protect yourself because life got scared and you wanted to protect yourself from the pain in the heart. So what happens when you walk around like this for a longer time, you will create a holding pattern, and your fascia is there to support you. So what will happen, it will produce a lot of collagen to like form this new structure you want to walk in. And that's also, I find, a beautiful way to look at your body and your fascia, your connective tissue. It's there to support you. Oftentimes when we are in physical pain, we kind of like get angry at our body. It's like, why I want to do this, but my body is like this, and we kind of like relate to our body in such a non-loving way that we forget that life and our body, our connective tissue, is there to support you. It's there to mirror you what is happening also in the psyche. So I don't know, I just felt like giving that as a reminder that life and our body, our connective tissue, is there to support you and mirror that what is happening in your mind, in your psyche. However, maybe you become aware that you're walking very protective through life, and you start to miss your heart, and you start to decide like, hey, I want to open my heart again. And that may not be so easy because the whole physical connective tissue is structured in a way like this. So it's not so easy to like open up. What I often see happening is that people then go to manipulating the body. It's like, oh, open, it feels good for a moment, and then, after a few hours, you come back into the same structure because your whole connective tissue is structured that way. But you definitely can do something about it. So let's tune in what you can do for an exercise to slowly come back into an opening, into a soft front, where also your back and your shoulders can relax and release. As we will do this exercise, which I will give step by step, it might take a little bit longer than normal because I felt the last times I race through the exercises, and this is such a important exercise. So I'll give you the exercise with the hands and with one of the balls. So first of all, the basis of everything. So I want to invite you, if you are there watching the replay, just do it with me and feel afterwards what it has done. So maybe you want to tune in for a moment to, the shoulders. Maybe you feel they're a little bit in front, or maybe like puffed up, like I'm cool, I'm fine. Maybe more to the back. Just tune in how this space around the heart, and particularly on the physical level, feels. Maybe you already feel a little bit of restrictions or pain. Now we're going to start with using our hands, and you might even want to use a little bit of oil, not too much, because we want to keep touch with our body and not glide over it, but sometimes it can help to have a little bit of oil to make it a little bit softer. So 2 ways you can start is by using the flat hand, where you will move more the skin and the superficial layer from the middle, from the sternum to the outside. You can even help by opening the other hand, so you really get this whole arm line on length. And what you do is you glide over the front, over the skin, taking away just the superficial layer of the connective tissues is connected. And so when you glide over the skin, you also take away your connective tissue. Like gently invite your connective tissue to open and release. And yes, that feels very good. I'm happy you can feel that, Misha. And the most important thing during this exercise is to breathe through it and slow down. I'm quite excited in the moment, so I also have to remind myself to breathe, slow down, because in this slowing down you can really feel what is happening. So you can do that from the upper way to then you go downwards every time. That's one way. And of course, don't forget the other side, from the middle, the sternum, to the side you open. Another way to do this, if you feel like, okay, I want to dive a little bit deeper, is that you can take 2 fingers, and I hope you can see it, next to the sternum. You feel the ribs, and in between there's a little bit of space. We just start there, and just let your hand or your fingers glide through that space between the ribs. And you might even come across that you cannot glide so easily. I have here a point, because I'm also in process of opening my heart on a deeper layer. There, where you feel like you cannot glide so easily further, you just wait. Take a few nice deep breaths. You might even open your arm again. You feel you will be invited again to glide a little bit further. You can continue that journey between every space of the rib downwards, from the sternum to the outside of the body. Yeah. If you say like, okay, I want to try this on with a ball. It's like sometimes I use the smallest yoga tune-up ball, sometimes the middle. And I also want to say, like, oftentimes people ask me, what is the best ball for the best place? Well, for me, nothing is really fully fixed. Of course, there are some guidelines and some things you have to remind. But for example, in this way, for me, I just feel it. What does my body need in this moment? Because life is always moving, so also what we need in that very most moment is moving every time. So I feel for myself, I would like the smallest ball. And also there you start next to the sternum. You can put your hands on top. You can tune in how much pressure you need, and you just slowly, slowly breathing through, opening. Really be present. And what I mean with that is really go with your attention, with your full attention to the place where you make contact with the ball, or your hands for that matter. But just be present at that space. And every time you move an inch further, your attention moves to that place. So you're so present in your body, in this opening. So your system your psyche can also feel safe to open up, because it knows it has a mature presence of you. It's so wonderful. And also don't forget the other side, of course. What you can do, you know, there are so many variations to this work. It's always difficult to, you know, get the fullness of this work across. But what you can also do is place a ball, and probably this will be too small for me. Place the ball between you and the wall, and you can then, for example, instead of the ball is moving, your body is moving, so you can move your body, opening the arm and back to the sternum, to the middle of the chest, and rolling away, opening. I hope you can hear me still, but that's also a possibility. So as you can see, there's so many ways to work with the connective tissue, to open again, to let the connective tissue release. And what can happen, because as I said, oftentimes there's a reason why this is protected and restricted and short, is because the psyche and the emotions that are connected there. So it can happen when you are doing this work, and usually how slower you go, and I already go very fast, so you cannot go slow enough with this work. But the slower you go, the more you will feel in, the more you will touch those deeper emotions that were stuck here. And so don't be surprised that some tears might arise. It's a beautiful moment to release. So I would love for you to also give you the space to let those tears just come up without falling into the lower heart and the drama and the story, you know, where the story is like you're suddenly in a big story, and but just always keep a part of you present, watching over this process. And that's a learning process. That's just training. And to end, so if you are there watching with me, replay live, let me know how this was for you. How does it feel when you just for a moment tune into your heart? And I always love to start and end with connecting to the heart. Maybe take a nice deep breath in, and then do a heart clunk. So you breathe in, bring the arms up, and with the sound, that's the sound that is connected to the heart. It's like a shower up on the organ of the heart. Let's do that again. Breathe in and shower your whole system on the sound of the heart. Let's do it again. You can start and end by placing your hands on your heart and just breathing a couple of times, being present in the heart. What I always love to do is to do some exercises on the connective tissue, on the physical body, to release also the emotions that were blocked in that particular area. But always, when you release the energies, the emotions, and you know, giving the physical body a new, in a way, a new, how do you say that? Tickling or inspiration to, you know, self-healing. Always connect back to the higher. And as I said, your upper heart is connected to your higher self, to the mature part, to a higher intelligence. And you know, everybody calls that a different way. Like some may call it God, some may call their guidance the angels, or the masters in the inner world. Doesn't matter how you call it, but when you just breathe and connect up to that mature part and to the guidance you feel, maybe you call it just life, source, it's all good. Connect to that part in you you feel that is guiding you. Let your heart connect to that divine love, that divine guidance. You did your part by working on the physical layer, releasing the emotions. And then as a way you also surrender and give it to your higher guidance. It's like tapping into trust, faith in that whatever may happen or whatever your heart or soul is guiding you to, it is all good. I hope, even though you're there watching the replay or now live, that you can just breathe in and tap into this energy, because it's present and it's real. And the more you build that muscle of connecting your heart to the upper love, to the divine wisdom, more and more you will physically feel that energy present. Trusting in life. And with this trust, with this surrender, it's much easier to walk in life with an open heart. Because you know whatever comes across, even though it's painful, it tries to teach you or tell you something. And if you are willing to look at that, because sometimes that's scared, if you're willing to look at that, and knowing and trusting also that you have the tools to work on your physical and emotional body, then it's much easier to surrender to that. Wow, what a journey. Thank you for being here again. I hope in any way this was helpful to you. Leave some hearts if it was. Share this video if you want to, if you want us all to open up and connect from that space. With a deep love for humanity, this was Miranda. Till next time, take care of yourself.